Hello. I've been sat waving to see if any of you actually noticed that I was back, but about 2 minutes. I wasn't really paying that much attention. Of course, yes. Yeah, you're nothing like Gotrek. I mean, you based your character off a Dwarven Slayer, yeah. Gotrek was the greatest of the Slayers. Of course. Who doesn't love to kill Skaven? You. What level are you? Yeah, that's not forgetting an entire major element of your class. So Jamie is a barbarian of the morning after pill. Got it. Okay, so you were rolling insight, but I can't remember why you were rolling insight. He seems, yeah, he seems very entertained by this entire interaction. That's the primary thing that you're getting from him at the moment, is that he's finding this whole situation quite humorous and entertaining. Um, so we left off. I'm trying to think of what the last thing that was said. Sorry, that's completely derailed me now. Yeah. Get out of my way is basically what he said, yeah. Um, he kind of looks around and smiles and he says, I find all of you very pleasantly entertaining. I. No, not nearly as entertaining as that. But still a pleasant diversion. I'm in the mood for a deal. I would like to very much make deals. I like deals. So, I will say this: we will collectively agree upon 3 deals. Once we have agreed upon 3 deals, I will depart. Very good, barbarian. You can count. So, to begin, the job of Herald. Would anyone like to sign that contract? He he moves his claw slightly, and in the air in front of you, a contract appears. A quite long contract. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Fenrisians don't. No, just a large contract in front of the group. Interesting. Well, I'm not entirely bothered about the world. It's just such a fertile farming ground. Oh yes, I have devoured a few of them. They're very tasty. And in exchange...
I ask for nothing but passage. You will not have our souls. Those devils so rightly simply gain that ultimate power. It's a gamble that you will have to take. If we win, if you bet rightly on us.
I've never been much of a gambler, preferring instead the sure thing. So I will make a counteroffer on your counteroffer. I will grant you safe passage from this place to the entry of the Steel City. In exchange, you will bring to me the Spark of Divinity. You will have 1 year and 1 day to do so. Should any of you perish within that time, before the spark is brought to me, I will hold their souls in escrow. If the spark is brought within the time, they will be set free. If the spark is not brought within time, I will keep all souls which are held in escrow, as well as the next soul to join. Do you accept those terms? Of course, I mean, you would be denying them any of my favors in this bargain anyway, so I would assume that they must agree with you. I have already said to you that I am no demon. And with that, he brings a claw down on the boat and smashes it in half. You may know me by one of my many names. I am known as the Master of Bones, the Meister of the Dance Macabre, and the Master of all just torment.
Master of Bones is fine. That's pretty easy to remember since you know everything.
Yeah, our tribes have masters too. It's not that impressive.
As you say that, as you say that, Seeger, you just watch as he picks up the claw and just smashes it into the boat again and just grinds more of it into powder.
Hey, Chris, you're really helping right now.
I say, you may have his soul. Go free. I'm so glad to hear all like you. I can't hear.
No, we didn't. We have not yet struck our deals.
Thank you, Master of Bones, for clearing that up.
Why would we make a deal with this thing? It's evil.
Not my concern.
Well, then it's not our deal, it seems.
Do you really want our souls left to be forfeited? Is that what this all our souls?
It's 3 of our souls.
No. No, he didn't say that.
3 deals. Yeah, and they count the contract was all of your souls. Until you give me the spark.
Yeah, the current the current deal that is on the table for discussion is that you would have 1 year and 1 day to bring him the spark. Anyone who dies during that time, he would keep their soul in holding. If you bring him the spark in time, he would let them free. If not, he would keep them plus the soul of the next person to die.
Yeah, like if we were to pick up Stracker, he won't speak.
It would be out of the people that are here to make the deal. Mm-hmm. Um, Yeah, it fought. The information that it has given you is that it has fought Magnus in battle, and that it has eaten divinities similar to yours. That's not to say that it is divine in and of itself, but it means that it is likely somewhere on par. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there could have been a battle of 10,000 on one side and 10,000 on the other side, and Magnus was the opposing general. He has been in battle against Magnus. That, yeah, he's not, yeah.
Sagas, basically, where a god can easily kill a god outside of their realm. Because they have that.
Yeah, only a god can kill something of that kind of power outside of their own realm. Which you've been warned not to leave the caves with.
Yeah, and we're kind of just we're kind of mixing in character knowledge with outside. Like, and this is an something that I'm saying. This is just me saying my thoughts out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say right now, I don't like the deal unless all of you want that deal. Basically, like all of you agree. It's giving us completely safe passage through what is hell. Now, it's not always a safe passage in regards of, yeah, I won't kill you on the way. That's safe.
He has stated that he will grant you completely safe passage from here to the gates of the Steel City. He kind of lifts his claw up out of the rubble and he says, "It does appear after your quite rude remarks that you have much less stuff to carry than you previously had." Will one of the more intelligent of you explain to this Cretan what safe means? Well, no, no, no. His original thing was that he wanted to make 3 deals with you. He did not specify what those 3 deals would be. Aldrin then counteroffered with, "You give us safe passage, and I'll give you the divinity." He then countered that by saying that's not enough. There need to be some other rules around it. So now, if you're going back to the original, he has stated that he wants to make 3 deals. The deal that he's initially offered, which could be accepted 3 times if you so wished, was to work as a herald for him, basically fetching him chaos in exchange for armor or accoutrement or power of some kind. And there is a contract there for that, which as of yet no one has really completely read through. Well, of course, more than one of you can accept any of the deals. I will accept a contract for a herald, which, of course, is my preferred option because, well, then I have a sustaining food source. Beyond that, I would gladly accept a life as trade for one of my deals. Who has not left the the thing, and as you look at him, he draws a weapon and he's looking at you a bit cautiously. Otherwise, I would accept. And you kind of see him glancing around, and he says, "You seem to have some quite interestingly powerful weaponry. Things not normally seen commonly on this world. I would be interested in these as well."
Which ones are you speaking of?
He basically names, without naming them, but points out, Bricks, you're still in the tent, aren't you? Right, so he's not actually seen yours then, but he has seen the other axe and the staff. He also includes in that of items that he would be interested in your armor, Aldrin. Either heralds or lives or items. Yeah, or you could accept out of those things. Each one would basically be a deal. So 3 heralds, or 3 lives, or 3 items, or some combination thereof. And of course, he is also with the herald deal, offering to give you stuff. I don't know if I made that explicit, but that is part of that deal as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, in the course of all of this, what you've realized is that the two dragons that were leading people off that cliff into the pit were herding chaos to him. And he's been showing up and harvesting it. Now that they're dead,
Looks at Cain. All the heretics with us.
well, I mean, it's been specifically said that the armor is chaos. So there was at least some chaos there with you.
I am alignment.
Yes, but the item is still going to give that aura.
Cain is.
Okay.
You haven't killed me yet.
Literally shooting a lightning bolt out of his head.
Technically, if we're going to point it out, Fenrisians slay chaos on sight. Well, this is why I'm saying that this would be something that would fall into how you interpret things. Because if you actually go by things as they are, the actual concrete way of things, this is law, it is not chaos. But if you go from a Fenrisian mindset of believing it to be chaos, then you believe it to be chaos, whether it is or isn't. So it's a matter of how you're going to interpret it. I mean, by that thing, you've actually been traveling with someone who's been wearing chaos armor and is a member of a group devoted to chaos. So, exactly, which is why I'm saying that there's interpretation to be had in all of this.
I will stop Mr. Cain from shaking his
Yeah, he walked away.
which is why I'm doing it. I'm doing this right now, and I want to just clarify what the contract says. So I will take the time to read out loud the entirety of the contract, and I will say this to everybody that I'm doing this for. So everybody, either go back inside and get a respect.
You watch as he takes the staff. No, Madman and Doc have, yeah. Which is that's two of the three deals. No, there were specific items that he was looking for. Well, when he mentioned interesting items, he pointed out the axe, the staff, and the armor. He only pointed out one axe because he has not actually seen the other axe yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You actually watch as he takes the staff and he closes his hand around it and it just vanishes. Now the armor, once he does get that, that is actually a bit different in that he goes to close his hand around it, and this time you do watch as the greenish purple flames envelop it, and it kind of burns through his hand, through the bones of his hand, and kind of you watch as this flame glows brighter and brighter, and then just eventually a flash, and then as his hand opens, just black smoke. Yeah, it is a long contract. So anyone who is listening to all of this, roll me an intelligence check. Just an intelligence check.
22 intelligence. Do I know what this is? And plus, I'm probably extremely considering my two characters' bodies.
Yeah. Considering you're the one actually reading it and the other factors, Aldrin will have advantage on the check. Yeah, and actually so does Harold.
I should get a bonus for this. You did advantage. You make a super advantage. You do the thing, where you say needed. I'm actually listening. Wait, I forgot. I already get advantage on intelligence checks. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. No, no, no. Actually, the thing is, the DC was 18. So Aldrin does get it. Everyone actually understands except for Bricks. I mean, even Fodder gets it. So so basically, what you get from this contract, and I can write out particulars later on if you want. But the kind of bullet points that you get from it are that you will be given an item of power, which will be lawful. So that could be an armor or a weapon or something that will assist you. That item will be tied to the Master of Bones. Meaning things such as he will always be able to scry it and things of that nature. It will be something that will be familiar to him to focus and to cast things upon. What he will expect of you is to either return creatures of chaos here to him, or to sacrifice them in such a way that it will transfer their power to him, which would involve the items that you're being given, and a ritualistic action. There will also be there are also in the contract additional clauses saying things basically to the effect of you are, once this deal is made, you have access to making further deals, which would involve you giving more to gain more. And there is also basically a some of you may get this term and some of you may not. There is also a Hail Mary clause. It basically it is a something absolutely has to be done, and it has to be done right now, and it has to be done the right way. So I'm going to give you everything on the condition that this thing that has to happen happens as it has to. And it basically would mean that you would gain access to all of his power for completing one thing, after which he gets everything. So that, based on the checks that you've had, is the bullet points of this deal. Well, the fine print is things such as the fact that he can locate this armor or this weapon or this item or whatever he gives, no matter what, basically. There is also a clause in there that basically says that you cannot willingly surrender that item. So basically, once you have made the deal, that item is yours and you can't renege out of it. Hold on, what have I just said there? He can always observe the item. I'm just making notes of this. The item. Yeah. No. And the other one is there is also a clause that basically says that if you bring nothing to him, for, again, the term of 1 year and 1 day, then basically he can harvest your soul. He has not said that. He specifically said he doesn't actually care about this world. It's just a very good hunting ground.
I will say, by the way, this hail is... Okay, I'm unfamiliar with the term. I think I know what it means. Can you just... Yeah, can you just, explain that a little bit more? Because
Certainly.
I don't know entirely.
Yeah, well, I'm using a football metaphor there. A Hail Mary is when you go all out and you have to you absolutely have to score. So you send everyone long and you just throw it as hard as you can. Basically what this... Yes, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got no other choice, and so you might as well do everything you can to win. And basically what this would mean would be that when you invoked the clause, you would invoke a outcome for a current event. It could be a battle or a confrontation or some kind of a short-term goal. We have to kill this thing, or we have to get through this city, or we have to do this thing. And once you invoked that, you would gain access to his power in order to do that thing. And then once that thing is done, then he would claim everything from you. He would claim you. It is a, I'm done. We have to do this. Just do it. It's, yeah. That is that clause.
Even though do you realize it will, like, there might be like unforeseen consequences with you doing this? Okay, let's real talk. Fenris is. Are we gonna just let this guy? The shaman is already.
The shaman's already made a deal with him. Yeah.
Trisk might, but that's probably only because just Trisk.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm going to kill you immediately.
It is also worth noting.
Trisk has stated that if you fall to corruption, he'll kill you, just like he said to the shaman. Yeah, that's his job as the hunter of the tribe to hunt down whatever. It's my job. It's my job of the shaman of the tribe to kill. And the shaman is saying this doesn't necessarily mean that he's corrupted. Yeah, but it just means that he's what's it called? More susceptible to corruption. Yeah, and that's like he's
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying is, like, as the one who's designated to spot corruption, is that this doesn't make him necessarily make it corrupted. It just makes it very fucking easy for him to be so, and we should be like very in if we see it happening.
Yeah. The other thing, that is worth pointing out that you know that he doesn't is that you do have another axe which would fill his criteria.
But that's even more powerful than the axe that Styx has. Yeah, I would give that up.
Well, because it's not Styx that would, not give it up even if it wasn't powerful.
I don't think Rex would take the cattle of that either. But I mean, Autumn carried the Taylor once the deal, so I mean, this is a way for us to justify it. Right. Exactly.
Yep.
And I find with him in character, he's fine doing it as well. Okay. It's not bothering him near as much as it bothers us. In that case, it's decided then.
Okay. What is it that Cain wants as his gift of power?